A warm welcome to AD4 TV Radio News Update, coming to you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital territory. I am Gracious Ogun. Egypt has rejected Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala'S nomination as Director General of the World Trade Organization, WTO. Permanent Mission of the Arab Republic wrote to the African Union to rescind Nigeria's nomination of a new candidate, which it says is not in conformity with the Executive Council decision, adding that the nomination was out of time and that Nigeria no longer has a candidate for the position. It argued that member states of the AU were required to nominate candidates for the position by November 30, 2019, while the request to substitute Uyong Frederick Agan was made on June 4, 2020. President Muhammadu Buhari approved Okonjo-Iweala'S nomination and withdrew the candidacy of Agan, Nigeria's permanent representative to WTO. In a related development, the Bureau of the Board of Governors of the African Development Bank, AFDB, has stopped the probe of the bank's president, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina. In a communique issued at his meeting on Thursday in Côte d'Ivoire, the body ignored the independent investigation demanded by the United States of America and upheld the decision of the bank's ethics committee in favor of Adesina. The communique signed by the chairman of the board, Ms. Nila Kaba, called for an independent reviewer to take a look at the process by which the ethics committee reached its decision on Adesina, as the board has fulfilled its obligations in accepting the findings of the committee. United States former Vice President and Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden has formally won the delegates needed to clinch the Democratic nomination and face Donald Trump in November's U.S. presidential election. Biden passed the 1,991 threshold to secure his party's nomination as counting continued from Tuesday's round of Democratic primaries. French Armed Forces Minister Florence Pally on Twitter said his military has killed Al-Qaeda's North Africa chief Abdel Malik Drogdel and several of his closest collaborators during an operation in northern Mali. There has been no confirmation of his death from Al-Qaeda. His death comes almost 6 months after French President Emmanuel Macron and the leaders of the G5 Sahel group, Mauritania, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger and Chad, launched a new plan combining their military forces under one command structure to fight armed groups linked to Al-Qaeda and the ISIS. China on Thursday warned its citizens not to visit Australia as racial discrimination and violence against Asians increase. China's Ministry of Culture and Tourism gave the warning, saying there has been an increase in words and deeds of racial discrimination and acts of violence against Asians, particularly Chinese, in Australia amid of the COVID-19 pandemic. Australia's Trade Minister Simon Bamian has rejected the accusation. And in Nigeria, Chief Judge of Delta State Justice Marshal Umokoro has commended the Governor Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa and the legislature for signing into law the Judicial Autonomy Bill, which came into force on 23 January 2020. The bill, titled the Delta State Judicial Fund Management Law 2019, provides for management of funds occurring to the state judiciary from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of Delta State. Section 6 of the law provides that the Delta State Judiciary shall have the power to manage its capital and recurrent expenditure in accordance with the provisions of the law. A coalition of human rights activists and civil society organizations in Nigeria jointly held a peaceful protest Friday in Abuja and Lagos, demanding a state of emergency to be declared on gender-based violence in the country. The protest took place at the police headquarters in both cities. Executive Director of the Dorothy Njemanze Foundation, Ms. Dorothy Njemanze, said the coalition was calling on the government to declare a state of emergency on gender-based violence in the country. We take a short break now, and when we return, Lagos runs out of bed spaces. Stay with us. Details coming shortly.
As the world faces the challenge of the coronavirus pandemic and governments around the world are racing against time, AD4 TV Radio thanks you all for doing your part to stop the spread of the disease. Be safe at home and practice hygiene. Protect yourself and others. Do not panic. Do not self-medicate. Listen to all preventive advice and stay at home, as well as maintain social distancing. Say no to fake news. Get authentic updates from the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. the Federal Ministry of Health, the NCDC, and of course, 84 TV Radio, your credible and reliable channel. Please stay safe to save others.
Welcome back. You're watching 84 TV Radio News Updates. The Justice Department of the United States has sued a Chinese company for selling about 500,000 fake and substandard N95 nose masks amid the COVID-19 pandemic. In a complaint filed in the Federal Court of Brooklyn, New York, the department said Guadin-based King Gear Packaging and Printing shipped 3 batches of purported N95 masks to U.S. buyers and forcefully claimed they were certified by the U.S. National Institute for Operational Safety and Health as having met the N95 standards. Each of the 4 counts of importing substandard health products and making false claims to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration carries a maximum fine of $500,000 or twice what the company earned from selling the masks. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation on Thursday at the Global Vaccine Summit hosted by British Prime Minister Boris Johnson pledged $1.6 billion to the Global Vaccine Alliance, Gavi, to immunize 300 million children in the world's poorest countries by 2025. The foundation said on Friday that it is also committing $100 million to Gavi's new effort to purchase COVID-19 vaccines for lower-income countries through a new COVID-19 vaccine advance market commitment. At the end of the summit, $8.8 billion was raised from world leaders and companies. Lagos State Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, has raised the alarm that the state will soon run out of bed spaces at its isolation centers if it keeps recording a high number. The commissioner at a press briefing on Friday confirmed a total of 1,165 new cases between May 30 and June 4th. Lagos now has a total of 5,663 cases, 902 recoveries, and 67 deaths. Governor of Ekiti State, Nigeria, Kayode Fayemi, says government of Ekiti and Ondo states will work out the modalities to give the former governor of Old Ondo State, Muyiwa Olumiluwa, a befitting burial. The former governor died on Thursday at the age of 80. That's it on 84 TV Radio News Updates, coming to you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. You can join the conversation on our website at www.84tvradio.com. Please follow us on our social media platforms at 84TV Radio on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at 84TV Radio. Many thanks for watching. I am Gracious Ogon.